Have you ever wondered why people act the way they do? Why do some groups seem to have more power than others? The 20th century French sociologist Pierre Bourdieu developed his theory of social practice to answer these questions and explain how society works. It's like a lens that helps us see the hidden forces shaping our lives. It argues that our actions are not simply a matter of individual choice. Instead, they are influenced by the social structures around us. Imagine a fish swimming in a current. The fish may think it's moving freely, but the current plays a big role in determining its direction. Similarly, Bourdieu believed that our social environment shapes our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. He argued that we are born into a world with pre-existing rules and hierarchies. These rules are often unwritten and unspoken, but they have a powerful influence on our lives. By understanding these hidden forces, we can better understand ourselves and the world around us. We can start to see how our choices are influenced by factors beyond our immediate control and begin to challenge inequalities we often take for granted. To understand his theory, we need to first understand his essential concepts: habitus, fields, capital, and doxa. Imagine you're carrying an invisible backpack everywhere you go. This backpack is filled with all your past experiences, values, and beliefs. It's called your habitus. This concept is central to Bourdieu's theory. Your habitus shapes how you see the world and how you act in it. It influences the choices you make, the people you befriend, and even the way you speak. Think about it. You didn't choose your first language, your cultural background, or your family's social standing. These early experiences became part of your habitus. For example, someone who grew up in a family that values education might feel very comfortable in academic settings. They might naturally gravitate towards books and intellectual discussions. On the other hand, someone who grew up in a family where practical skills were emphasized might feel more at home in a workshop or a kitchen. Our habitus isn't fixed, though. It can change over time as we encounter new experiences and people. But it's a powerful force that shapes our perceptions and actions in ways we may not even realize. Think about the different areas of life where you interact with others: school, work, social clubs, even online communities. Bourdieu called these spaces fields. Each field has its own set of rules, values, and power dynamics. Imagine a soccer field. There are rules about how to score, who the referee is, and what constitutes a foul. Similarly, social fields have their own sets of rules that determine who holds power, how to achieve success, and what is considered valuable. The field of art, for instance, has its own criteria for judging artistic merit, its own hierarchies of galleries and museums, and its own language for discussing aesthetics. The field of education has its own systems of assessment, its own hierarchies of institutions and degrees, and its own vocabulary for talking about learning. We navigate these different fields throughout our lives, often without even realizing it. Understanding the concept of fields helps us see how power operates in different social contexts, and it helps us understand why certain people or groups may be more successful in some fields than others. When we hear the word capital, we usually think of money. But Bourdieu argued that there are other forms of capital that are just as important for understanding social life. He identified three main types: economic capital, social capital, and cultural capital. Economic capital refers to financial resources, money, property, and assets. Social capital refers to the networks of relationships and connections we have. It's about who you know and how those relationships can benefit you. Cultural capital refers to knowledge, skills, education, and cultural tastes that are valued by society. Think about it this way. Having a lot of money can certainly open doors, but so can having a wide network of influential friends or a deep understanding of a particular field. A person with high cultural capital might know how to navigate a fancy art gallery or discuss classical music with ease. This knowledge can give them an advantage in certain social circles. These different forms of capital can be exchanged for one another. For example, someone with a lot of economic capital might use it to gain access to elite schools and build social capital, or someone with high cultural capital might leverage their knowledge and skills to get a better job and increase their economic capital. Unspoken rules, the power of doxa. Have you ever noticed that certain beliefs and values are so ingrained in a society that they are rarely questioned? Bourdieu called this doxa. Doxa refers to the unspoken rules, assumptions, and beliefs that shape our perceptions of the world. It's like the air we breathe. We don't even realize it's there most of the time, but it sustains us nonetheless. Doxa can be about anything: gender roles, religious beliefs, political ideologies, or even something as seemingly trivial as fashion trends. For example, the belief that men should be assertive and women should be nurturing is a form of doxa in many societies. These beliefs are often reinforced through media, education, and family upbringing. They become so ingrained that we rarely stop to question them. Doxa plays a crucial role in maintaining social order, because if everyone accepts the same basic assumptions about how the world works, it's easier to maintain the status quo. But doxa can also be used to justify inequality and oppression. When certain groups benefit from the existing social order, they have a vested interest in maintaining the doxa that supports it. The hidden hand unveiling symbolic violence. Imagine a situation where someone is being subtly disadvantaged or discriminated against, not through physical force, but through symbolic means. This is what Bourdieu called symbolic violence. It's a form of power that is exercised through culture, language, and symbols. Symbolic violence is often invisible to those who are subjected to it. It works by making certain values, beliefs, and tastes seem natural and inevitable while devaluing others. For example, think about the way certain accents or dialects are often associated with lower social status. This can lead to discrimination in areas like employment or education, even if it's never explicitly stated. Or consider the way certain cultural practices like classical music or fine dining are often seen as markers of sophistication and good taste. This can make people from different backgrounds feel like they don't belong in certain spaces, or that their own cultural expressions are somehow inferior. Symbolic violence is a powerful tool for maintaining social hierarchies, because it works by shaping our very perceptions of what is valuable, desirable, and even possible. It can lead to self-doubt, low self-esteem, and a sense of powerlessness among those who are subjected to it. Connecting the dots, a unified view of society. Bourdieu's theory might seem complicated at first, but it's really about connecting the dots between our individual experiences and the larger social structures that shape our lives. It helps us understand how our personal choices are influenced by factors beyond our immediate control. Think back to the invisible backpack, our habitus. It's shaped by our upbringing, our social class, and our cultural background. This habitus, in turn, influences how we navigate different fields in society, like education, work, or even leisure activities. Our success in these fields is often determined by the different types of capital we possess. Economic capital, social capital, and cultural capital all play a role in determining our social standing and our life chances. But Bourdieu's theory also highlights the importance of doxa, the unspoken rules and assumptions that shape our perceptions of the world. Doxa can be a powerful tool for maintaining social order, but it can also be used to justify inequality and oppression. And then there's symbolic violence, the subtle ways in which power is exercised through culture, language, and symbols. Symbolic violence can lead to discrimination and disadvantage, even if it's never explicitly stated. Habitus in action shaping our choices. Let's bring Bourdieu's theory to life with some everyday examples. Imagine two people walking into a job interview. One candidate grew up in a family where professional success was highly valued. They were encouraged to excel in school, participate in extracurricular activities, and develop a strong work ethic. Their habitus has prepared them well for this moment. The other candidate grew up in a family where survival was the main priority. They may have had to work from a young age to help support their family. They might not have had the same opportunities for education or extracurricular involvement. Their habitus reflects a different set of experiences and priorities. Even if both candidates have the same qualifications on paper, their habitus will influence how they present themselves, how they answer questions, and even how they perceive the entire interview process. The first candidate might unconsciously exude confidence and ambition, while the second candidate might be more reserved or unsure of themselves. This isn't to say that one candidate is better than the other. It simply illustrates how our habitus, shaped by our past experiences, can profoundly influence our present actions and opportunities. A capital in play. Navigating different fields. Think about the different fields you navigate in your own life. If you're a student, the field of education is particularly relevant. Students with high cultural capital, like those who come from families with a strong educational background, often have an advantage. They might be more familiar with the unspoken rules of academia, know how to write a good essay, or feel comfortable participating in class discussions. They might also have access to resources like private tutors or test prep courses that can give them a leg up. Economic capital also plays a role. Students from wealthy families can afford to attend elite schools, have access to better resources, and focus on their studies without having to worry about financial burdens. Social capital is also important. Students who know people in their field of study, like professors or professionals, can benefit from these connections. They might get internships, research opportunities, or valuable advice that can help them succeed. Understanding how these different forms of capital operate within the field of education can help us see why some students thrive while others struggle. It's not just about intelligence or hard work. It's about the resources, networks, and cultural knowledge that students bring with them. Challenging doxa, questioning the unspoken. Bourdieu's theory encourages us to question the doxa that often goes unquestioned in our societies. For example, the idea that success is solely the result of hard work is a powerful form of doxa. It suggests that everyone has an equal chance of achieving their dreams if they just put in the effort. While hard work is certainly important, this belief ignores the very real structural barriers that prevent many people from getting ahead. Factors like race, class, gender, sexual orientation, and disability all play a role in shaping our opportunities and life chances. By questioning this doxa, we can start to see how social structures often create unequal playing fields. We can then begin to challenge these inequalities and work towards a more just and equitable society. This might involve advocating for policies that promote equal opportunity, challenging discriminatory practices, or simply raising awareness about the ways in which doxa can perpetuate injustice. Bourdieu's legacy, a toolkit for understanding. Pierre Bourdieu's theory of social practice provides a powerful lens for understanding the complexities of the social world. It reminds us that our individual lives are not lived in isolation. They are shaped by the social structures, power dynamics, and cultural norms that surround us. By understanding concepts like habitus, fields, capital, doxa, and symbolic violence, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the forces that shape our beliefs, values, and actions. We can start to see how our own experiences are connected to larger social patterns. And perhaps most importantly, Bourdieu's theory empowers us to challenge inequality and injustice. By understanding how power operates in subtle and often invisible ways, we can start to dismantle systems of oppression and create a more just and equitable world for everyone.